right? So if we leave this earth with one word, satisfaction.
The session was so simple and easy to follow.
I'm going to follow this and try to create my decade dream.
At the end of this session, you're going to walk away with three things. You're going to walk away with a clear, inspiring 10-year vision for your life and a sense of focus for what really matters, and a simple tool to really help you bridge the gap between your vision and your everyday choices.
But as whole individuals. At IT by Design, we believe growth goes beyond learning new skills. It's about shaping the right mindset, discovering a deeper purpose, and building meaningful connections that last. Today's session is all about taking a step back from the day to day and imagining the bigger picture, the life you truly, truly want to build over the next 10 years. But before we dive in, just a quick reminders. Please stay on mute unless you're speaking. This helps keep the audio clear for everyone. We'd love to see your smiling faces, so feel free to turn on your cameras. Use the chat box to share your insights, reactions, questions, or reflections throughout the session. The session is being recorded, so if you want to step away, you can, and you can always revisit it later. Most importantly, be present, be open, and take away what resonates with you. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our wonderful speaker for today. We are honored to welcome someone who truly embodies purpose driven leadership, Ann Sheu. Anne is a seasoned entrepreneur, certified business coach, and the visionary founder of Empowered Journey, a transformative organization that helps business leaders grow not only professionally but personally. Her coaching blends strategic insight with deep empathy, guiding leaders to build resilient teams and fulfilling lives by aligning their work with their core values. Anne's true gift lies in turning complexity into clarity, helping people move from challenge to meaningful progress. She's not just a coach, she's a catalyst for all leaders who seek more than success. They seek significance. Everyone, please, please, please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to Ann Sheu. Anne, welcome to the Life by Design series.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to spend some time with you guys today. All right, so I'm curious, is anybody here, were you guys on the call that I did about a year ago? Just curious, show of hands. Okay, well, we have a treat for you guys because I really love helping people live life by design and live intentionally. And I really believe that the two pieces to do that are really understanding who you are and what you want. And so today we're going to tackle the second half of that equation, what you want, where are you going to go? What is it that you want out of your life? So before we dive in, let's just all take one big deep breath and give yourself permission to slow down. I know some of you guys are probably in the middle of your workday, at the end of your workday, at the beginning of your workday. Everybody's coming in at a different, time. So this next hour or so is a chance for you to really take a step outside of the daily rush, the projects, the deadlines, the notifications, and really have an opportunity to zoom out and recalibrate. And so, we spend so much time planning our work, and really today, this next hour is intended to help you spend some time designing your life. So we're going to craft what we call your decade dream. It's a powerful 10-year vision that helps you really reconnect with what matters and really help you define what success looks like. And so at the end of this session, you're going to walk away with three things. You're going to walk away with a clear, inspiring 10-year vision for your life and a sense of focus for what really matters, and a simple tool to really help you bridge the gap between your vision and your everyday choices. So during our time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you guys through a couple of short reflections and exercises. What I want you to know is there's no perfect answer. Today is really about exploration. It's about getting some things down on the paper so that you can have an opportunity to continue your reflection, to iterate. There's obviously, it's about progress over perfection. So I know oftentimes it's sometimes hard to write something down on paper if you feel like it's not perfect, but I would encourage you to just write down so that we can really get some thoughts going, and then you can continue to iterate after the workshop today. And then the invitation that I have for you guys is simple. Just stay curious and let go of the need to be perfect and productive, and instead just be present with the work. Does that sound good to everybody? All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's zoom out and take a few minutes to really imagine and dream what it looks like if you're living your life 10 years from now. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to take you guys to the workbook. Does everybody have a copy of the workbook? Everybody have the digital workbook? It's in the chat if you guys need. It looks like this, and we're going to go to the first page. So if you guys want to turn in the first page, and this is going to be a very interactive workshop. So my hope is that you guys will follow along and do the work and I'm going to give you guys time to do the work. So follow along. So what I want you guys to do is go to page 1, and you'll see that there are 6 categories here: fun, time freedom, wellness, relationships and community, purpose, and business or career, and then financial. And what I want you guys to do is just take a few minutes and jot down a few bullet points for each of these categories. But the question I want you to answer is, what would this category look like if my life was thriving? So for example, in fun, maybe your life, if it's thriving, maybe you define fun as taking a big trip every year. For the wellness category, maybe thriving in that category looks like you start every morning with gratitude. In the relationships and community category, maybe thriving looks like seeing your friends at least once a week, every night for dinner. So what does thriving look like for you in each of these categories? I'm going to set a timer. We're going to spend about 3 minutes here, and I want you to just take a few minutes and jot down your thoughts for each of these categories. What does thriving look like for you? If you're thriving in each of these categories, a couple of bullet points. You don't have to write in full sentences, but just what does it look like in each of these categories? Okay, so now that you have a glimpse of what's possible in your life, what thriving looks like in your life, it's time to get honest about where things stand today, because vision without awareness is just a dream. If you've got this incredible vision, but you're completely, disconnected from reality, then that vision is simply a hallucination. It's never going to become a reality. So if we want to close that gap between where we are and where we want to be, we need to start by identifying that gap clearly. We call this your clarity gap. So that's what this next exercise is all about. This is called the Wheel of Life. It's a simple but really powerful tool that gives you a snapshot of how you're doing across these the categories that really matter the most. So if you want to turn in your workbooks to the next page, you're going to fill it out. It's going to look like this after you're done filling it out. But this is the page. It's on page 3 is the page that you're actually going to complete. This one has the blank wheel. And what you're going to do there, you'll see the numbers 1 through 10. You're going to look at each of these categories and just think through for each of these categories, where are you today, with 10 being the best, and 1 representing something that, an area where there's a lot of room for improvement. Where are you today in each of these categories? Just take a few minutes and complete your wheel of life. Just be completely honest with yourself. No one's going to be looking at your paper. So just acknowledge that, there's some areas that you've got some room for improvement and some areas you're doing well. So where are you today? And you're going to fill it in so that it kind of looks like this. Take a few minutes here to fill in your wheel of life. Okay, so you've just imagined what thriving looks like for you. And then you've taken a snapshot of your current reality. What does the next decade look like if you are truly living an intentional life, a life by design, right? So this next exercise is about painting that picture. We call it your decade dream. And your decade dream is a singular goal that really talks about, reflects what success looks like if you are living in alignment with the things that are really the most important to you. Your decade dream is intended to help you give clarity on your decisions and helps you filter out distractions. And it really ultimately serves as a compass for the most important decisions that you'll make over the next 10 years. There's a story about the British men's rowing team heading into the Sydney Olympics, and their goal, like most other, men's rowing teams, was to win Olympic gold. But what really set this team apart was a single question that they asked before every decision that they made. The question was, will it make the boat go faster? And that one question became their filter for everything from training schedules to what they ate to how they spent their downtime. And that clarity is what ultimately helped them go on to win Olympic gold. And that's the power of having clear focus. And that's what the decade dream can be for you. A guiding question that really helps you say yes to the right things and say no to everything else. This decade dream isn't a strategic plan. You don't need to know how you're going to get there. You just need to be clear on what the end goal is. Something that really captures the essence of what success looks like, what a values aligned life looks like 10 years from now. So, at work, for our, business, for our teams, we might be doing 1-year goals, maybe 90-day goals. Here, we are going to do a long-term goal, 10 years out. And I know rarely do people do this for their personal lives. And so this is your opportunity to really think bigger, think further than you normally do for your personal life. And so the decade dream should feel a little big. It maybe feels a little scary, but it should also energize you. It should light you up. You should be excited about it, right? So it shouldn't feel like a burden when you think about your decade dream. So if you're on the right track, it really will help you see what is important and you'll be able to use it as a filter. And so and as an example, my decade dream is to help 1 million people define their decade dreams. So 1 million decade dreams defined is my decade dream. So doing workshops like this, speaking at conferences, leading groups, teams through this work is how I'm slowly getting to 1 million decade dreams defined. And that's my goal. And I know that if I'm doing that, it implies that I've built a thriving business, that we've had deep impact in the community, in the lives that we've touched, that I still have a really strong partnership with my husband, that our kids are also doing this work. I know for me that 1 million feels really big and sometimes it feels impossible, but it really helps me stay focused. It helps me say no to things that distract me, that pull me off course. But I also want you to know that my decade dream didn't start as 1 million decade dreams defined. It's gone through many iterations. And so what I would encourage you guys today is to figure out what that first draft looks like for you. Something that you can take home and just try on this draft decade dream, right? It's like trying on new clothes. You want to take it home and ask yourself, does it fit? Does it reflect what is important to me? Does it align with the picture that I've painted for myself? If it doesn't feel quite right, that's okay. You can take it, you can keep iterating on it, keep refining it over time. So just a couple of things. I want you to think really big. It should feel energizing. And then when you get to your decade dream draft, I want you to write it using this formula. And on page 4, in the middle of the page, there's a formula here. It says a number plus an experience or activity, and you're going to use this formula to write it. So for example, mine is 1 million decade dreams defined, right? 50 books read, 3,000 heart-to-heart conversations. And so what I want you guys to do is there's a couple of brainstorming prompts right here. and a little space to do some brainstorming. So take a few minutes and do some brainstorming here, thinking through these prompts. And then what I want you to do is go to this page. There's 2 pages here of examples of decade dreams. And what I want you to do is read through these examples and make them your own. And what I mean by make it your own is this. So as an example, on this page, you'll see there's an example here that says 10,000 meals served to families in need. And this is a real life example where somebody took this example and she said, that's an interesting concept, but families in need is not where my heart's at. My heart is really with the people that I'm mentoring. So she said, 10,000 meals served to people I'm mentoring. And then she said, ooh, served? That means I'm cooking 10,000 meals for people. I don't really want to cook that much. So she said 10,000 meals with people I'm mentoring. And she's like, she did the math. She said, oh, that's a lot of eating out. So she said 3,000 meals with people I'm mentoring. And then she thought about it again and she said, ooh, 3,000 is still a lot of eating out. And so she's like, I don't know if I want to spend that much time eating out. And so she said, okay, 3,000 heart-to-heart conversations with people I'm mentoring. And that is how 10,000 meals served to families in need became 3,000 heart-to-heart conversations with people I'm mentoring. Does that make sense to you guys? How what I mean by take these examples, read through them, and make them your own. Iterate on it. Take the idea, the concept, the part of it that resonates with you, and iterate on it till you can get to one clear decade dream for you. And once you get to that decade dream, what you're going to do is write it at the bottom of this page. And you'll see there's just one line here for you, right? Because it's one singular goal written using this formula. Decade dream with is going to be your number plus an activity or an endeavor or an experience. Okay. And so start here with the brainstorming, answer those few questions and do the brainstorming, and then read through the examples and see if you can get to your first draft of your decade dream. It's not going to be perfect. Know that you're going to continue iterating on it. But what we're looking for today is your first draft. Okay, any questions before I give you guys a few minutes to work on this? All right, I'm going to turn on a little bit of music, but I am also here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask your question, or you can drop it in the chat box. You've taken time to pause, to reflect, to imagine a future that really excites you, and doing those things alone sets you apart. Most people never stop long enough to really define what success really means to them. They're too busy reacting to everything around them, doing what the world expects of them. But today you've chosen something different. You've chosen to be intentional. And your decade dream is more than just the words that you wrote down on your paper. This is really your compass. It is something that you can come back to when life gets really busy and noisy, when you feel like you're getting pulled in a different directions, and maybe you feel like you're overwhelmed and drowning in life. When that happens, come back to your decade dream. When you need to remember what truly matters, your decade dream can serve as your guiding light, your filter. So I encourage you to keep doing this work. If you want to go deeper, if you want to continue, there's a special gift for you guys on the very last page of your workbooks. It's a Know Thyself workshop where we really help you understand your deep values, identify your best and worst self, and really continue to get clarity around that decade dream. I am going to stick around if you guys have any questions, but for now, thank you guys so much for your time, your presence, for doing this work with me today. It's such an honor being here with you guys today. I'm going to turn it back over to Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much, Anne. So guys, everyone, let's just show some love to Anne. I think this was an amazing session. I'm still thinking when we paused, and I think when we closed our eyes, it was just something, because I think in our busy lives, we don't take a pause. And I think everybody, we forget to take a pause. And I think you reminded that it's important to take a pause and reflect and think. So thank you so much, Anne, for leading today's wonderful session. Your insights and guidance truly inspired us to think more intentionally about our lives we're creating. The reflective exercise, that we all did together, and the practical tools that you shared gave, I think, everyone, each one of us, a clearer sense of direction and purpose. And to everyone who joined us, thank you for, being present, embracing new ideas, and committing to growth.
And thank you so much. Truly, truly appreciate you coming here for the second time. You made a huge impact in last year, and now I was a little bit late to the call, but I was able to go through the entire exercise today as well, and it was so amazing to just reflect. I think one thing that we don't do enough, what Anne said, was take a pause and really understand who we are and what do we want. I think if we can just go deeper into those two questions that she mentioned in the beginning, who we are, really are, and what do we really, really want, then I think a lot of other things are very clear in terms of the decade dream. For the next decade, for your overall life, is life well lived because you lived with intentionality. That's another powerful word that Anne used. So life by design is all about intentionality, and there's just so much alignment with what our life by design thinking is. And I really, really encourage guys, take time to pause, think who you are, what do you want, and what good looks like in the next 10 years. When you have that, then it doesn't matter where you are. You lived with intentionality and you had a little bit of thinking, your plan, your strategy, and it's you. Whatever it is for you, it's gonna be very uh, I mean, a lot of satisfaction for you, and that's the word, right? So if we leave this earth with one word, satisfaction, then we are successful. And if we are like, oh, this happened, that happened, or this person did this person, I did this because of this. It could be people around us, it could be culture around us, it could be anything around us. Then it's like, oh, I wish I could live this way. Because you never took a pause to really see who you are and what you want. So satisfaction being the word. So thank you so much, Anne. And she has this gift for you. If anyone wants to go take a deeper dive, we will see how we can support you. You can, our program manager is Anna here internally. You can reach out to her if you want a little bit more time with Anne, and we will talk to Anne and see how we can work with her as a team. I will support you guys. She's doing some amazing work, really, really amazing work, and a lot of impact. So I want to make sure that we take, we leverage her capabilities and what she has built. This workshop, the tool she shared with us is really a great starting point. You can, I know, I have been with her for a lot longer, that she can take you a lot deeper into your values, to your thinking. So take your time this weekend. Perfect timing. You have your weekend ahead of you to really go deeper into your, like, really that within, and then reflect what do you want in the next best decade. So thank you, Anne, and really, really appreciate you. I will call you later. We will chit chat, but I truly, truly appreciate you coming here for the second time and making a huge impact on our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And until next time, everyone, stay curious, stay kind, and remember to keep living life by design and not by default. I'll see you all on Friday. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.